In the last video, I showed you how to create custom product attributes and edit your product through the admin interface. In this video, I'm going to show you how you can create your own custom tab on the product edit screen. Let's get started. So on my product edit screen, you'll see that I've replaced the event settings tab from the previous exercise with an event information tab here. And on this tab, you can see that customize it quite a bit. It still has the event drop-down where we can select which event this is going to pertain to, but I've also added this custom interface for adding tickets or removing tickets. And basically this is going to allow us to sell special types of tickets for our event. For instance, you might have a VIP ticket that costs a little bit extra versus your general admission. So let's go ahead and dive into the code so you can see how this is done. So the first thing we need to do is make sure that our module is adding a layout to the admin interface. So in our config.xml, I've added here a section of XML code which basically tells Magento to process a layout file with our module. Let's take a look at that layout file. Alright, so in this file, we're utilizing a special handle. This Adminhtml catalog product handle is going to append the product type here and load any layout updates. Forget exactly where this is running. It might be running in the controller. So in the Adminhtml catalog product controller. Yeah, so we can see this is exactly where Magento is doing this, basically right here. It's going to load the default layout and the actions layout and this concatenated string is going to become Adminhtml catalog product event, and that's going to load our layout. So what our layout is doing is basically referring to the product tabs and adding our own event info tab. So this is just going to put it right at the bottom of all the tabs on the left-hand side. And we're using our own block. It's going to be an Adminhtml catalog product edit tab event block. So we can see that here. And the block is pretty much a standard admin block, except that we're going to implement the tab interface. This gives us some functions to override. Take a look. So we need to set a tab label, a title, and tell Magento if we can show the tab. So this is useful for permissions processing. So maybe a certain admin user can't or doesn't have permissions to edit this event info. But in our case, we're going to allow any admins to edit. So in our constructor, we set a template, which we'll come back to later. I just want to show you a couple other functions in here. You can see the interface functions we've overridden. We're always going to show the tab, and it's never going to be hidden. And then I have a few other kind of utility functions for getting button HTML and the get ticket data, which is going to parse the product to retrieve all the tickets that have already been saved. Okay, so we can jump into this template now. So here it is. So this actually goes in the app design admin.html folder. And this template, it's basically building our form fields for that tab. So if you jump back to the admin screen, you'll see we're adding the product attribute for the event ID, that select list, and then we're adding this custom table. And in my template, you can see this is where we add the field for the event select list. And I'm kind of hacking my way through a way to render that select list just by using the raw variant data form element, not using any Magento form widgets. So that's how you would do that. And then in the table, I kind of borrowed this from the downloadable product type and tweaked it. Basically, it's just a table layout, kind of, self setup. But then there's some JavaScript here that has a template for each row. And basically the template is what gets added to the DOM when the add button is clicked. So the add button observes a click event, and when the add button is clicked, it adds a new row to the table. One of the cool things about Magento is that when we build this form, we really don't have to do too much to get it working. All we need to do is make sure that our name attribute of each form element starts with product, and then we can assign any name to the indexes in that name. So let's recap. First, we had to create an admin layout for updating our custom product type. In the layout, we were able to inject a tab into the product edit form. Overriding the tab block allows us to set the tab's title and set the visibility of that tab. Any custom form fields we include in our template should follow the Magento naming structure so that when data gets submitted to the form, we can begin to process it. In the next video, I'm going to show you how to process that data, so stay tuned.